Quick tips using banners. More than just decoration. It's base building with Daisy. I'm going to show you some of the ways I use banners. In this castle I copied from the real-life Ravenwood castle. I've made the red walls from banners, which includes the angled walls of the stairs here. In the library, they became the carpeting. Outside, they are the mulch in the garden. In the spaceship I made, you see banners in the transporter room as both wall and floor, plus they have the symbols of your destination on the teleporters. Letters on the banners make the turbolift writing, and the absolute black a banner can show is useful here as the backdrop for a star scene. And if you've been to my witch's house, you'll see an extensive use of black banners. They make great tunnel openings also. I've even used the angled corners of a banner in the roof for the witch's house. Banners can be many colors, except they don't really bleach out completely as white. In this room I'm going to put up banners for the walls. First, I color the banners. Now you can do this on each banner if you'd like, or you can set the colors in the supergroup settings. Be sure both colors are the same. You have more choices in the editor, but if you set it in supergroup settings, it's automatically applied to each banner, so it saves time. So once I've chosen the colors, I place the banners using the floor attachment assigned with F5. I'm on the quarter grid, which I set using F1. Now on each banner is the supergroup symbol. You'll want to turn the banner around if you're using this for a wall or a floor so we don't see the symbol. I'm using medium arcane banners. Medium because they are single ply and the right height for the room, and arcane because the banner poles are smaller and easier to deal with than the tech versions. Now make sure the height will place the pole that's sticking out between the ceiling of this room and the floor of the one above it, if you have one above it, so it's hidden and not sticking out into the room. This gap between this window and the wall is pretty wide, but not wide enough for another banner. I'll probably fill it in with alphabet letters later. The angled tip of this banner is useful for things like the space below the window. Here I turn the banner upside down at an angle that makes this side of the angle level. Now I sync the banner holding shift and moving it down with my mouse and place it on the quarter grid so it lines up with the other banner. And so on until I've gotten the room's walls covered. Now, you may notice that once aligned with the other banner, there is a bit of stone protruding through the banner as I have placed it. So I then put another banner, angled, going the other way and tilted it out slightly with the angle snap off to cover the stone, but later just went back and redid that. The stone had been angled to negate flicker, so I angled it another way so that it did not tilt into the room anymore, and removed the extra banner I'd used under the window. You will also see me using banners to precisely place the banners to the sides of the windows, so that once I fill in the windows, the colored walls are in the correct position. When placing two banners together on one quarter grid, you will notice that you either have a slight separation or a slight overlap. Now, where you have slight overlaps, you'll have a bit of flicker. We don't want flicker. So to get rid of that, turn off your grid, angle one of the banners slightly, and the flicker is gone. However, if you view this from the side, you can see a bit of separation if you get right up against the wall. To get rid of the separation, either overlap more, or when you've angled one, angle the other one the opposite direction, then bring them together so they meet. The unevenness is so slight it's unnoticeable. On to the floors. Again, you're going to be changing the attachment to floor using F5, and you're going to lay it down so that the symbol for the supergroup in the front of the banner does not show. We'll make this a darker green. Because I'm needing this floor to be above the poles sticking up from the outdoor mulch banners, I'm going to put this on 1/4 grid and make sure it's above the top of the pole. Usually I'll put my banners as close to the floor as I can. Now it depends on my area as to which banner I'll use. I might use a large banner if I can hide both ends in the walls. But here I can't do that, so I'm using the square tops of the banners at the wall and laying the ends down in the middle. For the flicker here, you do have to be careful because any gaps will show more than the ones on the wall because people all will look across the floor, not directly down at it, so the gaps show more easily. Overlapping again will help this, and so will angling the other banners so they meet, as I showed you on the walls. Now this floor is pretty easy because it's just one big rectangle. The challenges come when there are spaces where you can't hide the top of the banners easily, or where the banners don't meet in the middle, so you have gaps. Then you need to use some angling techniques to make things work. In this situation, I have a doorway here, and it's too far from either side for the side of a banner to cross it, because I want the carpeting to end at this doorway, as the hallway is a different floor material. For this floor, the banners need to be close to the floor so that there are no visible gaps, so hiding the poles under the other banners isn't so easy. So what to do? For this, use the front side of the banner so you don't have to deal with the extra pole that sticks out from the back. From a flat to the floor position, lift the bottom tip of the banner 1 or 2 clicks with the grid disabled. You may have to experiment to get exactly the right angle because you don't want the tip to stick up too far. Not only will that leave visible gaps, the characters may get hung up on it. Now sync it, also with grid disabled, so it's like this. You may have to come back and adjust due to base shift, but usually this works pretty well. There are several ways to approach this particular problem. First, the best looking is to have the top of the banner, in this case it's a large banner, coming from the outside so that it's not leaving any space under it at the doorway. But that leaves a slightly visible pole from the top of the banner. If you've got something to hide that under, great, but if not, keep the banners in this room and the slightly visible pole marks will be under the carpet, but you're going to need to use medium banners because the large ones are too big to keep them all inside the room. And for this particular problem that I'm recreating, that would definitely show. So I'm going to use medium banners and fix it a different way. And this room is finished.